A warm good afternoon to each one of you. It's almost good evening. Today I'm going to introduce you to one of our ancient style of teaching. All of you are learning and teaching here, but there is a method called as formula. And in the ancient days, it was called as sutra. Sutra means a secret, but conveyed in a very short format. I'll give you a simple example. Everybody has heard about E is equal to mc square. For those people who find it difficult, ask an engineer. He or she will tell you that this is the simplest form to understand all the theory and the works of Einstein. In the similar way, in our ancient education system, knowledge was simplified in such a way that anybody and everybody could understand. And today I'll be introducing you to one such sutra, a formula that was written by a strategist called as Chanakya. So let me start by introducing you to Chanakya. I'm sure all of you heard about him. I tried to study him. I've written 21 books on him and still trying to explore many other facets. He was born in the 4th century BC, which is roughly 2400 years from today. And he actually was the one who defeated Alexander. He was a teacher and he also created great leaders like Chandragupta Maurya. But very important for us, he created the golden era of India. He made India the richest country in the world. But a good teacher is the one who not only teaches in the classroom or creates great students, but also writes books for prosperity. So I'm sure there are many teachers who have written textbooks also. So he wrote 2 books called as Kautilya's Arthashastra and Chanakya Niti. And you'd be surprised to know that these books are still available in our generation. A quick thoughts about Kautilya Arthashastra, which was my work on Ph.D. One book and 180 topics. Usually you write one book with one topic, isn't it true? But imagine one book having 180 topics. He wrote on economics, he wrote on law, he wrote on political science, he wrote also on what we call as criminal psychology. Today psychology is a big subject, but he went on to write various factors of psychology. He also wrote on war. Because everything he connected to one subject called as leadership. I hope all of you want to be successful leaders in your life. And if you want to be a leader and successful in your life, then you should understand Chanakya. And today I'll be sharing with you one formula which has got 5 steps of how to be successful in anything that you do. Think about it. One formula with 5 steps to be successful in anything that you do. It could be managing an event like this. It could be managing a picnic. It could be organizing something in your family. It could be a birthday party. It could be running a company also, or being a project leader also. So think about it, how the application is so useful in various fields. So let me go to the theory, and here is this one slide. I call it one of the biggest and simple and profound sutra or formula on management. So I will just read out in Sanskrit for you and then explain that in English. कर्मणारंभ उपायः पुरुष द्रव्य संपद देश काल विभागो विनिपात प्रतिकारः कार्य सिद्धि रीति पंचांगो मंत्रः. You know, when we hear the word mantra, we generally think of some spiritual chant that you do, mantra, maybe on some god or goddesses, और मंत्र की सिद्धि होती है. Yes, but the original word mantra comes from mantri charcha. The leader or the king has to discuss with the ministers. They were also called as amatyas. Don't forget this word. Mantris and amatyas were the real think tank for the rajas or ranis. Today we can call it unigender because we have great leaders also in this country like Ahilya Bai Holkar and various others. But no leader can be successful without mantrana, discussion with the Mantri Parishad. So let us see the 5 steps of managing anything and everything. So the first step is called Karmana Rambo Upayah. Karmana means activity. So think about any activity in your house, in your school, college, in your local area. Maybe you're organizing, let's say, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. And you're getting everybody. So what does Chanakya says? Wait. Karmana Arambo Upayah. Think through all the dimensions before organizing it. Karmana Arambha, before you start. You know, a lot of people start with Josh, but no Hosh. So it's very clear that plan properly before you start any activity. we are all excited. Do you have the Josh? Yes. But the second part is equally important. Do you have the Hosh along with the Josh? And very simple formula, Chanakya says, please plan on paper. If not paper, take your mobile, open some file, or open your laptop and start putting down. What to put down? Let us see that. So first thing, start by thinking through all the scenarios. Karmana arambho upaya. Think about all problems and solutions. Our problem is that when we see a problem, we look at the solution. No. Think about the problems and have a solution before you start. Second, Purusha Dravya Sampadaha. The means of starting undertakings is the first step. Second is that the excellence of men and material. Whenever you do anything, you require a group of people and some resources to take care of it. For example, let's say, I am organizing an event in the school. I require some people, what we call as teamwork. So is your team there? Is your resources there? Maybe money, maybe some material resources. Do you have a car or something that is required? So think through it. But what is important is the word called as excellence. That's a general complaint. My people don't listen to me. If you are a captain, if you are a leader, you have, let's say, 3 or 4 people in your team. They don't listen. No. And sometimes the leaders blame them and say that they are not good enough. No. To get the best out of your existing people is a leadership quality. So instead of blaming them, make them excellent. I still remember there was a police officer and he was called by his boss. And he was asked, there is one particular election happening in that area. Should you require people? He said no. He was surprised. But during election, you will require extra manpower. No. I know how to get the best done from the existing manpower. So if you have only limited budget, make it happen with the limited budget. A third one is suitable, appropriate of place and time. Think through what is the right time and place for doing that activity. The right time and right place is very important. It could be an OTT platform, it could be somewhere else. 4. Provision against failure. It's very important to know to have backup plans. Like for example, if the light goes away, I'm sure there will be a generator. If a teacher is not there in the school, there will be another teacher taking the class. So your backup plan in every scenario is important. And finally, the last point is achievement of results, what we call accomplishment of work, which means siddhiriti. Whatever you started, you should complete it. We start, but Chanakya says complete it. So that is Panchango. Pancha means 5, Upayaha, Panchango, Mantraha. So all of you sit down, plan. It's very important to plan out your work and work out your plan. Let me give a small example for this particular application. Let us say that you have a grandfather or a grandmother in your family who is turning 80 next year. And all of you, 3 generations come together and say, let us have a grand 80th year celebration for our grandparents. Fine, good idea. But don't start. Karmana arambho upayaha. Call your relatives, friends, uncle, aunties, cousins and start planning. See, next year it's going to happen, so let's start planning. Then appoint people for respective tasks. So you can have a small team which is called the core team. So maybe one of you can say you be the social media head, some of you can take off food, somebody can be the finance head, etc. So all of you know that. And then Purusha Dravya Sampadaha. You can't say, oh, he's busy sitting in Australia. It doesn't matter. But sitting in Australia also he can participate. And generally you can have one person who will do the communication with everyone. And then out of maybe 200 relatives across the globe, you plan in advance. But after that, the next step is very important. Desha Kala Vibhaga. You can't tell them come now. Plan in advance. They can book their tickets. You can book their accommodation, hotels, event menu, etc. etc. Then Vinita Pata Pratikaraha. Suppose you have booked a venue and in the last moment something happens. You should know how to have a backup venue also. And then finally, you know what is happening? Karya Siddhi Riti. Finally, the real success of the program is not everybody coming together, but actually making your grandfather happy. Don't forget that. I remember a case when everybody came and they started fighting. And the grandfather said it's better not to have a birthday party. So happiness is the last objective of any activity. Remember this. Happiness is the last objective of any activity. Aim at happiness and do your activity. Thank you so much.